She could light up a whole room with one smile. Goldie Hawn, America's sweetheart, an Oscar winner. The woman who made millions laugh. But behind that sunshine glow was someone craving something real. And please hit the subscribe button. It cost you nothing, but it means a lot to me. She'd been through 2 broken marriages, felt real heartbreak, and still kept moving with that same sparkle that made people fall in love with her. Now at 79, Goldie is opening up about one man, the only person she says truly saw her, the only one who made her feel understood in a way nobody else ever did. And the surprise? It's not who people thought. Goldie was born ready to perform. Growing up in a Jewish home in Maryland, she and her sister Patty didn't even know they once had a brother, Edward Jr., who passed away as a baby. Goldie started dancing at just 3 years old and had skills way beyond her age. By 10, she was dancing in the Nutcracker with the ballet's Ruse de Monte Carlo and stealing the stage like she belonged there. By the mid-60s, she was acting in Romeo and Juliet and even running her own ballet school. She dipped out of college to chase her dreams and made her pro-dancing debut in Can-Can at the New York World's Fair. Soon she was moving like a star in go-go clubs across New York and New Jersey, and it didn't take long before Hollywood came calling. Her big break hit in 1968 with Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In. That bubbly laugh and wild energy made her one of TV's most loved faces. That same year, she slid into her first movie role in the one and only genuine original Family Band. But Cactus Flower in 1969 flipped her whole world. She walked away with an Academy Award and a Golden Globe, proving she wasn't just funny, she was the real deal. From there, Goldie kept shining in films like There's a Girl in My Soup, and she showed everyone she wasn't slowing down for anything. Goldie kept dropping hit after hit. Butterflies Are Free, The Sugarland Express, Shampoo, Foul Play, Seems Like Old Times, and Private Benjamin, which even scored her another Oscar nomination for Best Actress. She wasn't just shining. She was running the whole era with that smile and that wild talent. She jumped from Overboard to Death Becomes Her, The First Wives Club, and even The Christmas Chronicles, proving she could make anybody crack up no matter their age. But behind all those perfect moments on screen, her real life was way more twisted than fans ever knew. Before fame came knocking, Goldie had a few early loves. She dated actor Mark Goddard and singer Spiro Uras, but her first deep, real connection was with Gus Traken, a dancer and actor who showed up in West Side Story. She met him in the late 60s while they were performing, and she once said she wanted to marry him the moment they met. They married in Hawaii in May 1969, but once Goldie's career took off, everything started shifting fast. Gus struggled to find steady work while Goldie became a rising Hollywood star, and suddenly their paths were pushing in totally opposite directions. That distance crept in slow, and it never stopped. They separated in 1973, and she didn't file for divorce until New Year's Eve 1975, and by then she was already engaged to someone new. Her divorce was finalized in June 1976, and just a few weeks later, she was married again. Goldie's second husband was musician and actor Bill Hudson from the Hudson Brothers, and their spark kicked off on a first-class flight from New York to Los Angeles. It was fast, it was strong, it felt like one of her movie scenes for real. They married on July 3, 1976 in her hometown, and they had 2 kids together, Oliver and Kate, who both grew up to be successful actors. But the marriage collapsed almost as fast as it started. In 1980, Bill filed for divorce, later saying he had doubts even on their wedding day. According to him, he felt like the luckiest man alive until Goldie leaned in and asked, "Are you sure we did the right thing?" That moment hit him hard and never left his mind. Bill said he was fully committed and ready to build a strong family, but he claimed Goldie didn't share that same mindset. He said she wanted more freedom and wasn't into a traditional marriage the way he believed in. And after the divorce, things didn't calm down. They only got messier. Bill said he felt pushed out of his kids' lives, and that pain hit him deeper than anything else. Gus Traken spoke up too, saying Goldie changed once fame arrived, and that success pulled her away from him. He claimed she started spending time with stars like Barbra Streisand and Jack Nicholson, and said her behavior seemed wild and weird to him. Bill didn't hold back either. He said Goldie kept a clean, friendly image for the public, but behind the scenes he felt she was manipulative, cruel and selfish. The part he hated most was how she described their marriage. He strongly disagreed with her, saying it was an open marriage, and he said that was never something he agreed to. What broke Bill the hardest was feeling like he lost his children. He said that pain stayed with him for years, long after the spotlight moved on. Goldie Hawn might have looked like Hollywood's golden girl on screen, but off-screen her life was full of heartbreak and heavy emotions. 2 marriages crashed hard, and both ex-husbands carried that bitterness for years. Still, Goldie kept pushing forward. She raised her kids, built her foundation, and somehow found the strength to open her heart again. Goldie and Kurt Russell first crossed paths in 1966 while filming the one and only genuine original family band. Goldie was 21, Kurt was 16, and even with that age gap, she later said, "I thought he was adorable." Nothing happened, though. They were young, focused, and neither wanted to date another actor. Their first meeting became just a sweet memory. They had no idea that memory would come back to life 17 years later and flip their whole worlds. In 1983, Kurt walked into his swing shift audition, hungover and nervous, and when Goldie walked in, he blurted, "Man, you got a great figure." It should have been awkward, but she smiled and said, "Why, thank you." That one moment broke every bit of tension. Their first date was straight out of a movie. First dancing at the Playboy Club, then heading to a house Goldie had just bought. She didn't even have the keys yet, so they broke in together like a wild team-up. While wandering around the empty rooms, things started heating up until the police showed up and shut it all down. They ended the night at a hotel instead, and Kurt said, "That was our first date. It was a lot of fun." Once filming started on Swing Shift, they finally got real time together, and that's when the sparks turned into something serious. That's when everything shifted. The feelings got real, deep, and serious. Goldie always said Kurt was good-looking, but it was his honesty that grabbed her heart. No acting, no games, no fake charm. She shared, "I could tell right away he wasn't a womanizer, and that alone made him stand out." But what hit her the hardest was how he treated her kids, Oliver and Kate. She brought them to set, and every time she watched Kurt with them, she felt something new growing inside her. She said, "He was amazing with them. He was such a natural." And that was the moment she realized this wasn't just romance, it was family. By 1986, 3 years after they started dating, Goldie and Kurt welcomed their son, Wyatt, completing a blended family that already included Oliver, Kate, and Kurt's son, Boston. They still didn't get married, and they never felt like they had to. In 2021, Goldie posted a birthday message to Kurt that said everything without saying too much. She called him a wild one, brilliant, lovable, childlike, perfectly maddening, a father supreme and deeply funny, before adding, "I can't imagine my life without you at any age. You're the catch, and you're all mine." Their love wasn't just at home, it was on the big screen too. One of their most loved movies, Overboard from 1987, showed their chemistry in full force. Goldie played a spoiled heiress who loses her memory, and Kurt's character convinces her they're married. Fans loved it because it felt real. And honestly, it was. They even ended up watching the movie together years later in 2020, when it randomly popped up on TV and Goldie said, smiling, "It was so fabulous how we started." Their bond showed up on stage too. In 1989, the two walked out together to present at the Oscars. Goldie told the crowd, "We fit in completely to the theme of the show because we're co-stars, we're compadres, we're companions, and we're a couple." Kurt smiled back and added, "There's only one thing. We're not married." The whole room lit up with laughter. Goldie shot back, "Is that a proposal?" Kurt teased, "Listen, we'll talk about it later tonight." And she winked, "We will talk about that later." It was playful, sweet, and totally them. In 1996, they showed up together again at the premiere of The First Wives Club. Goldie starred in the hit film with Diane Keaton and Bette Midler, and Kurt was right beside her, proud and supportive the whole night. Their kids were with them too, showing what a tight crew they had become. Goldie and Kurt turned every event into a full family moment, growing into grandparents to 7 kids, and keeping their bond tight through every twist life threw at them. They laughed together, worked together, and stood by each other like a real team. They never had a wedding, but what they built was stronger, a true partnership that lasted for decades. In 2003, Goldie shared something sweet. She said she wasn't in a rush, but she would love to be a grandmother one day because it would be so much fun. Not long after, her daughter Kate Hudson became the first in the family to step into parenthood. On January 8, 2004, Kate and her then-husband Chris Robinson welcomed their son, writer Russell Robinson. Kate was only 24, but she knew exactly why she wanted kids young. She said, "I want children early enough to really experience my parents young. I want my parents to see my kids graduate from high school." And just like that, Goldie and Kurt officially became grandparents. More special moments kept rolling in. In 2006, Goldie and Kurt hit the red carpet in Italy for the Poseidon premiere, with Goldie proudly standing beside Kurt as fans cheered for their real-life love. He even gave her a kiss on the carpet, and people went crazy seeing how natural they were together. Jump to 2016. Goldie turned 71 and celebrated at the iconic Catch LA, walking in with a huge smile while Kurt carried a big present for her. But the most meaningful gift wasn't at the venue. It was waiting at home. Their daughter Kate shared a photo of a fireplace Kurt built in their new home, writing, "My pa laid the stone." He put a big heart representing Mama, and I'm going to say him too, with 4 little hearts representing us kids. That small detail showed how much love lived in their family. Real love shown through action. In 2017, Goldie was glowing again at the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 premiere. Kurt had a major role, and she was right there cheering him on, saying, "I'm always proud of him." Even though she hadn't seen the movie yet, just being there for him meant everything. But the most emotional moment came weeks later, standing side by side on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. In May 2017, both Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell received their own stars, and it became one of the most touching moments of their entire journey. Goldie later said the ceremony turned out to be a love fest, adding, "I didn't expect him to say those things. I had no idea he was going to be so beautiful." Their legacy wasn't just movies. It was decades of love that never needed a wedding ring to prove it. During his speech, Kurt looked at Goldie with that soft smile and dropped a line that melted the whole crowd. He told her, "To you, I owe my wonderful life. Simply put, Goldie, I cherish you. All the stars in the sky on the boulevard can't hold a candle to that." Then he ended with, "There's no one else I'd rather be next to for all of that than Goldie Hawn." They kissed beside their twin stars, and it felt like one of those rare Hollywood moments that was actually real. Later that month, Goldie opened up about why their relationship stayed strong for so long. She said it came down to love, gratitude, compassion, and knowing that sometimes partners really can drive each other crazy. For her, it wasn't about fame. It was about building a life together, step by step with the right person. In 2018, Goldie and Kurt teamed up again on screen, playing Mr. and Mrs. Claus in the Christmas Chronicles. Fans were hyped to see them back together since Overboard. Goldie's role in the first film was small but sweet, and their son Oliver even popped in, making it a real family moment. By the time the Christmas Chronicles 2 dropped in 2020, Goldie stepped fully into Mrs. Claus and owned the role. Kurt later laughed about why they didn't act together more often. He said, "Goldie Hawn movies and movies that Kurt Russell is in are pretty different things. It's not mandatory just because you live with someone, love someone, and enjoy working together, that you should do 10 or 15 movies together." They were careful with their choices, but when they joined forces, it always felt special. In October 2018, their family grew again when Kate welcomed her daughter, Ronnie Rose. Goldie and Kurt now had even more grandkids to spoil, eventually becoming grandparents to 7 little ones. They often shared photos online of Ryder, Bingham, Ronnie, Buddy, Wilder, Rio, and Buddy, each one loved and celebrated. In March 2019, they flew to Hawaii for Kurt's 68th birthday, and Goldie posted a sweet video of them walking and laughing like they were still in their 20s. Even after all those years, they were still having fun, still choosing each other, still connected in that warm, simple way. By late 2020, they opened up more in an interview with People. Goldie said, "You've just got to want to be together. It's not about the marriage, it's about the people and the will to stay together." She added that being with someone you love, even something as simple as touching toes at night, is a feeling she never took for granted. In January 2021, Goldie and Kurt added a new family member, a puppy named Roy Hawn Russell. Goldie even posted a picture cuddling him, another reminder of how much warmth and love lived inside their home. Every moment between Goldie and Kurt showed the life they built, full of humor, teamwork, and real connection. And nothing captures their story better than Valentine's Day, the date that marks the start of everything for them. On February 14, 2022, Goldie posted a tribute celebrating 39 years with Kurt. Fans kept asking why they never married, especially after 4 decades together, but Kurt cleared it up in a 2023 Variety interview. He said everyone kept asking, "When are you getting married?" But he and Goldie always wondered, why does anybody care? Even their kids didn't think marriage mattered. Goldie added her own truth months later, telling CNN that divorce was one of the biggest reasons they didn't tie the knot. She said, "How many divorces haven't hurt children?" Then she shared the heart of it. "I like the idea that I can wake up in the morning and make decisions every day if I want to be here." For her, choosing each other daily was stronger than paperwork. In December 2023, they were spotted in Aspen looking cozy and happy, bundled up, holding hands and sharing kisses in the snow. But weeks later, Goldie revealed something terrifying. Their Los Angeles home had been broken into twice. The first time happened while they were out at dinner, and she said, "I walked into my closet and just lost it." Burglars smashed open her safe door, proving they were highly skilled. Then, 4 months later, someone tried to break in again while she was home alone. She heard a loud thump upstairs and didn't realize until the next morning that another attempt had been made. It shook her so badly that she and Kurt brought in personal guards, especially when she was alone. "I'm never without a guard now," she said. Eventually, they made a major change, leaving Malibu and moving to Palm Desert for more peace and protection. Meanwhile, Kate Hudson moved into their old family home, sharing that she'd always been very codependent with Goldie because their family was nuts in the best way. But fans still had one question: what made Kurt the one? Goldie finally shared her answer in April 2024 on Conan O'Brien's podcast. She said it wasn't just his charm or looks, it was that he matched her devotion to family. "To be number one," she said, "that's what bonded them instantly." Over the years, their family grew with Kate, Oliver, Wyatt, and a whole crew of grandkids. Goldie later told E! News that connection mattered just as much as love. "You have to have good something that creates belonging," she said with a laugh, adding you also have to be nice to each other sometimes. Goldie also admitted monogamy can be hard, especially in Hollywood. But she and Kurt talk openly, agree it's normal to find people attractive, and believe what you do with those feelings is what keeps love strong. She said their bond has elasticity. It bends, but never breaks. By 2025, they had been together 41 years, still choosing each other every day. On March 2, 2025, they walked the Oscars red carpet looking like a couple that never lost the spark. Goldie glowing in a yellow Dolce & Gabbana gown, and Kurt in a classic black tux. They held hands, smiled non-stop, and looked exactly like two people who still love being together. When Kurt was asked how he felt about their journey, he kept it real and sweet. "I just love the fact that we met, and we are still it. We still like being together." They faced break-ins, fame, chaos, big moves, and shifting family life, but nothing shook their bond. Maybe that's the real secret. Not marriage, not tradition, just choosing each other every single day. So what's your favorite Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell moment? Drop it in the comments. Hit like, smash subscribe, share this story, and stay tuned for more wild chapters from Hollywood's fascinating history. See you next time.